This company used video to sell $200 million worth of mattresses. That's a whole lot of cushion for the pushin'. Today, we're going to go behind the scenes and show you exactly how they did it. Plus, Alex Jones banned from YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. Is this censorship? Roberto Blake stops by the show to share his thoughts. Stay tuned, folks. It's the Business of Video podcast.
You're listening to the Business of Video podcast, where the world's top YouTubers and marketers talk about what's working with online video. This podcast is recorded live on Facebook every week, and you can join us when you visit businessofvideopodcast.com. And now your hosts, Owen Video and Nick Naiman.
Yeah, welcome back to the Business of Video podcast, where you see behind the scenes of video marketers, business owners, and their successful video marketing campaigns. I'm Owen here with my good friend Nick Naiman, and we're live every Wednesday on Facebook, YouTube, and iTunes. And you can give me 5. That's right. Just type 5 in the comments section right now. That will subscribe you to the show if you're watching us on Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube or iTunes, just press the subscribe button so that you don't miss a beat, so that you continue to excel in the business of video. Kind of a fun show today. This is actually our second take of the show if you're just joining us. We had a first take a little bit earlier and everything sort of went to hell. Did it not, Nick?
It absolutely did. But you know what? That's the beauty of just going for it and just keeping on going. Like our options were, all right, well, that's it. It's tech's not working. We're just going to shut it down and then we'll pick it up next week. Or, hey, we're going to work through this. We're going to figure it out. We're going to get it done. And then you know what? We're going to be live again just here shortly. And we're going to still bring tons of value to everybody that hung out waiting for us.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Nick. And I love that. If I had my sound effects, I'd play the applause meter right now. You know, that's what it's all about. Going live. You know, this is one of the big concerns that a lot of my clients have is they say, you know, well, what if this happens? What if the live stream goes out? What if nobody shows up? And it's kind of like, yeah, you know, hey, that stuff's going to happen. A hiker never goes, never says, well, what if I get a rock in my shoe? You know, of course you're going to get a rock in your shoe. It's how you pick up. And I love working with such professionals like yourself and Roberto and Bryant, who just knew how to hang on and that we'll get through this quickly. And we're back up and running. We have a great show for you today. I'm pumped up for the show. Bryant Garvin is here. He's the mastermind. I'm in a rap mode today.
He's one of those too.
Yeah, he's that. He's also that, but he's a video marketing mastermind, and he put together video marketing campaigns that have helped to contribute to Purple's $200 million revenue in 2017. He's going to take us behind the scenes of his campaign, show you what he's done so that you can emulate it in your own business. And we've got some very interesting items to discuss in the news. Let's go to it. YouTube bans Infowars. Is this viewpoint discrimination or a violation of terms? On Sunday, Apple removed 5 of the 6 podcasts that Infowars makes available through their podcasting apps. Within a day, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and LinkedIn also banned Jones and Infowars as well. Jones is the Austin, Texas-based founder of Infowars, a website and media platform that bills itself as the resistance and uses the tagline, "There's a war for your mind." Roberto Blake is here to join us. Roberto and I had a conversation on Twitter. Roberto's got some very strong thoughts. Roberto, is this viewpoint discrimination or is this censorship?
Well, first of all, Owen, I can't wait to see you at Video Marketing World coming up. It's going to be amazing. And then we're also at Vid Summit. Going to see you again too, Nick. We don't hang out nearly enough in the real world. We only get to do it digitally. There's that. So first I want to just kind of get that out of the way. And also thank you for having me on the show.
Yeah. Love your opinion.
I'm pumped to have you on here. Pumped to get your thoughts on this too. It's one thing you can always count on you for is that strong opinion. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Your live stream, sometime I'll listen to you live just to hear that strong opinion come out. Absolutely love it. Great stuff.
I think that is part of a brand. And I think that even that is part of what, for some people, he's not my cup of tea. I'll be painfully honest. I really don't like Alex Jones. I can't stand the man. I think that he's a walking pile of human garbage, or he's a brilliant huckster and con artist, because if this is all performance art, which was in the proceedings for his, child custody battle, his lawyer said that all of this is a performance and that's not real and that he's perfectly reasonable and sane. If that's true, then he's really good at getting his followers to buy into it and spend money. And I don't agree with that as a businessman. I think you have to be honest with your consumer.
But is that illegal? Is that a violation of YouTube's terms to say, hey,
well, that's not
we have to like your
that's
content?
Not why. No, that's not the issue here. There's plenty of content I don't like that is on YouTube. I'm a fan of the hustle of the Paul brothers. Their content isn't for me. That's not the issue, and that's not why YouTube got rid of him. People need to stop with all this throwing around censorship when it comes to the idea of businesses. We live in a capitalist society, Owen and Nick. I'm an adamant, passionate capitalist, but I believe you can be compassionate and do right by people as a capitalist. But you cannot take the word censorship and throw that and apply that to business. Not in America. Not in America.
Can a business not censor? Can a business not censor? Is it impossible for a business to censor?
So here's where I stand on that. I won't say that it's impossible, but I'm also not a legal expert when it comes to that. But I do know and understand what the term and the intent of censorship is. And essentially, the way that we frame it here in the United States is that if you're Jewish, if you're Jewish and you live in the United States, here's the beauty of the First Amendment. Nobody is going to come and kick in your doors and drag you out in the dead of night because you're Jewish. That's the beauty of living in the United States. Christians are not being persecuted in the United States. They don't have a Holocaust. They don't have people telling them you can't be a Christian. They don't have people legally locking them up for being a Christian. That's what censorship is. There is no actual penalty being infringed upon you by the federal government that you pay taxes to, that you have rights that are protected, that are sacred in this country, that's being taken away from you. The internet is not part of those rights. The internet is a business. The internet is purely right now, mostly meritocracy and capitalism. And as a business owner, here's the thing. I'll be daggone past a certain point because of regulations if the government is going to tell me how I can do business. And as long as I'm doing it legally, and as long as I'm not scamming my consumers, as long as I'm not endangering the public good, the government's not going to tell me how to do business. That's what the First Amendment is. That's what censorship is. That is what we have because we're blessed to be in the United States of America.
So are you saying what YouTube did?
There are countries where you don't have that.
What YouTube did, and you're right. We enjoy freedoms here that we simply don't see in a lot of other countries. And Nick, in fact, we talked about this with E4 Electric at at VidCon. We had a great conversation about the freedoms in America. Are you saying what YouTube did, what Facebook, Apple, and Spotify did, was not censorship, but instead just saying, we don't serve your kind here? Is that, explain to us what happened with Infowars.
It's not even that, because what people have to understand is that Facebook, YouTube, all these social media platforms, they're free services. They're free services and they have terms and conditions. When you become a user of this free service, you enter a legally binding contract to honor the terms of agreement. So it's not a matter of we don't serve your kind here. You're not upholding your end of the bargain, a legal bargain that you made. People don't understand what terms of service are. When you buy Microsoft or Apple products, you have a terms of service agreement that if you violate, they're not obligated to service the device or the machine. The warranty gets voided and they don't have to deal with you. If that's the case, you can buy another product and then honor the terms of agreement for that purchase. So they're not obligated to give you a refund if you violate the terms of service, you open it up, or you change the code, or you do any of that. It's a legal agreement. That's what people don't understand about using something because it's free. When you pay for something, you understand that there's a contractual obligation. So the problem is that people have a sense of entitlement. People have a sense of entitlement when they use a free platform and don't understand. They never bother to read the terms of service, or they think that because they make a platform money or they do something like that, that they're above honoring their legal obligation to operate within the rules of the platform. If you, for example, Owen, if you did a public event, even as a paying customer, and you violated the agreement of the venue if you rented out a hall but you violated the terms, they wouldn't refund you, but they have the ability to kick you out and to end your event because you violated the terms of what you signed. And that's if you paid. So if you did it for free, they much more than that have that right as a business to say that you didn't honor the agreement that was made. Do they not?
You have an excellent point, and it's true. You can't walk into a bakery and start yelling obscenities at the customers and say, I have freedom of speech, right? The business owner can kick you out of that store. And that's what you're saying happened.
And essentially, that's just the tip of the iceberg with it, because Jones had, in fact, done that in many cases. You also know that freedom of speech, you don't have the ability to yell fire in a crowded building in a theater. You can't do that.
Incite
Jones has
danger,
done that multiple
clear and
times.
present danger, right.
He's incited danger. He's incited violence with his rhetoric. He's tried to skirt it legally. He's in the middle of many defamation suits. If you had a vendor, Nick, if you had a vendor, Owen, that even if they were paying you was damaging your brand and was problematic, do you not as a business owner have the right to disassociate yourself with their brand if you feel it's damaging to you and hurting your business and hurting your bottom line?
I certainly reserve that right, and I've fired clients. I've had to let clients go. It's nothing it's something that we ever like. But isn't it different, Roberto, when it's a news organization, right?
No,
this guy is a reporter, and doesn't he have special?
No. He doesn't. No one is above the law, first of all. No one's above the law. And if you sign and enter an agreement, a contractual agreement, you're obligated to uphold the legal terms that you agreed to. Mm-hmm. So no one's above the law. I don't care if you're a journalist. I don't care if you're the GD president of the United States. No one's above the law. Emperor Roberto is the law. I am the Senate. Star Wars joke there.
I got it. Yeah. Senate. Yeah.
That's, if you want to go there, that's fine. But no one is above the law. We all
What about
pay
these
our taxes.
charges? What about the charges? What about the charges that this is only happening to one side of the political spectrum? That this is only happening on the right, the right wing?
It's not even only happening to political. What about all the YouTube prank channels? What about all the YouTube prank channels? But see, if someone's watching Infowars, you don't care about the YouTube prank channels. What about all the sex education channels? What about the, it's not even political to be a gun channel. Guns, there are people left, right of the spectrum. There are people who are gun enthusiasts, but those channels got hit. That's not political. That's something that's separate, because guns shouldn't be a political issue. That's, if you are a gun enthusiast or you're a hunter, you're law enforcement, guns are guns. That's not even political, right? Prank channels, that's not political. Sex education, that's not political. The LGBT channels, you could argue that this political. I don't really think it is. I think that's more of a lifestyle thing. And then what about all the CBD oil channels, right? There are people with the CBD oil, medical marijuana. I know that's an issue you're something very passionate about. There's all kinds of people.
I'm a blazer. I'm kidding.
Yeah, there's context, you're a champion.
I'm going to appeal to you for that one.
You've destroyed cancer. You've destroyed cancer.
Yes, no, and I feel passionately about CBD. Yeah, in fact, it's very big in California. We're not talking about weed. We're talking about CBD. We're talking about oil. Same family maybe, but different type of thing.
Yeah, and then the cryptocurrency channel. So to say that it's only the right wing is intellectually dishonest. First of all, I've even seen, because I listened to differing point of views. There was a guy who was talking. I wasn't even looking at him for politics. He was talking about that there was a YouTube shadow ban. He was a left-leaning channel that was saying that ad rep, someone that he does direct ad sales, which was saying that he thinks that he'd been shadow banned. I think it was what's his name? It's David Parkman. I think I only remember because it sounds like Pac-Man.
Yeah.
So like Pac-Man. So
you're saying it's happening on both sides. You're saying it's happening on both
sides. It's not even both sides. Prank channels aren't political. They get hit. Sex education channels, that's not political. This is an algorithmic thing. And so to say that, oh, it's just me, that's victimhood. That's victimhood. Oh, it's just me. That'd be like saying that, oh, it's like so what? You're saying that's like saying that a white guy in a trailer park can't have money troubles because he's white. That's
Right.
stupid. It's
Right.
like, that's stupid. So I hate when people want to yell things like groupthink and censorship, but they live in, and that, oh, well, if people can't have an opposing viewpoint, they live in a bubble. You can have an opposing viewpoint. No one shut down Ben Shapiro. No one shut down Lauren Southern. Like,
yeah, Ben Shapiro has been demonetized though, and I think that's where part of the
algorithmic. Philip DeFranco isn't even left or right; he's demonetized too.
Now that's a great point, because I love Philip DeFranco, and I think he's a very like middle of the road kind of guy. Roberto Blake, great to have you on the show. Thank you for sharing.
One quick thing, though. One quick thing, because I have to add some context. One quick thing. Here's another thing with the thing that no one's talking about with the YouTube's ban with Alex Jones that we have to say for context. He had a community guideline strike on his YouTube channel.
Right.
Which, if you are a YouTuber creator, and the thing is, a lot of people weighing on this, they're not YouTubers. So they need to understand that's a big deal. 3 strikes and you're out. But here's the thing. There's an auto deletion clause that if you try to circumvent the penalty of a community guideline strike or a copyright strike, it is immediate grounds for termination. And that's in the terms of service. Alex Jones tried to circumvent that community strike, and that's why he was terminated completely from YouTube. You can make an argument for Spotify, Apple, all those other things, but with YouTube, they're 100% in their rights because they applied a penalty. They were very generous. No small YouTube creator could have ever done what Alex Jones has done for as long as he's done. You can't do it, Owen. I certainly couldn't have done it. Nick couldn't have done it. And we would have been terminated a long time ago. But a copyright strike, the only reason Alex Jones was not banned from YouTube sooner was he was given favoritism because YouTube didn't want to look or be perceived to be a censor. But because they got to a point where it was just too much and they knew that this wasn't fair and this wasn't equally applying things across the door, they'd already given him chances. They finally applied policy. And I want more companies to actually apply their policy across the board. I don't care who anybody is. I don't care if you're a right winger, a left winger, a prank channel, a tech channel. If you violate the terms of service, I want the appropriate penalties, because small YouTubers that don't have an audience that's passionate and is not hundreds of thousands or millions of people that are going to cry censorship or cry foul,
right,
they have no recourse and they have no way to fight back. If your channel went gone, Owen, the only thing is you could reach out to me and Nick and your friends, and we would fight for you. But we're larger channels. We have a little bit of weight, but we're not as big as Jones. There's nobody almost as big as Jones. Right. So there's nobody. The little guy can't fight back. Jones had plenty of opportunities, and he's still got plenty of resources. He's not gone. This might even be the best thing that ever happened to his brand because he's a national headline. Again,
there's certainly no doubt about.
This whole thing has turned him into like a, oh my God, this has happened to Alex. What can we do to support Alex? What can we do to, to make a place for Alex? Yeah, I think that this is definitely going to be, he's going to come out with this. Like
as a he'll come out of this
using it as an advantage.
As a capitalist, I think that his audience will put their money where his mouth is. And now that he's not beholden to the platform, screw demonetization. They'll go direct and he'll keep all the money. He'll keep all the margin. Yeah, he won't have a 55-45 split with YouTube or the other platforms. He'll get to keep all of it, Owen. That's the thing. Still has his app. The Infowars apps are the most downloaded thing right now. They're like crushing the charts. He's going to get a bigger name than he already had. He's going to come out ahead on this, and he's going to milk it. He's going to milk it. That's why he may not be as stupid as people think, and this is not a catastrophe for him. He's playing a victim card very smartly right now, and he's going to keep all the money. And that's why more creators, if anyone's watching this for the business of video, I keep telling people Alex Jones is going to be a case study, because I keep telling people if you own the phone, if you go to an app, you're not as beholden to the platforms. You still have to be in the app store, but dominating the phone, if he wants to win the war for people's minds, he's already won, because he's going to be in their phone and he's going to have access to them in a way he never did before.
Absolutely right.
At scale.
Absolutely right. Roberto Blake, great to have you on the show. Phenomenal insights and input. Let us know in the comment section, guys. What do you think? Is Roberto right? Is this a violation of terms and service and YouTube finally saying, look, man, you got to follow the rules? Or is this political censorship designed to eliminate dissenting voices from YouTube? Let us know in the comment section. We've got a great show. Bryant Garvin is coming up. He's going to share how he led his team to millions of dollars in mattress sales. We'll be right back on the Business of Video podcast.
Roberto, thanks for coming on. So
Hey,
real quick, I just want to say again, because I didn't have a chance to say bye before he left. I just wanted to thank Roberto again for coming on the show. It was awesome.
He's always great to have on the show. I mean, the guy has thoughts and he thinks things, and it's not just, hey, look at me, watch my next video. He's got a lot more depth than that. Melissa, we ready to run the commercial?
Yes.
The Video Marketing World commercial. Hey, we want to give a big shout out to our friends at Video Marketing World.
Do you want more effective video in 2018? Welcome to Video Marketing World, the marketing conference you can't afford to miss.
We will be here.
Learn from many of the best video marketers on the planet at the beautiful Gaylord Texan Hotel and Resort in Dallas, Texas. We're only inviting 500 attendees this year. Price goes up this Friday, and tickets are going to sell out quickly. Click the link to purchase your tickets now.
That's right. Video Marketing World in Dallas, Texas is the largest workshop for video marketing, and Nick and I will both be there. Nick is speaking. I'll be the MC for the event. It's an amazing conference, and right now, if you purchase your tickets,
Roberto's going to be there too.
Roberto will be there too. That's right. Sean Cannell's going to be there. Evan Carmichael. It's a huge show, folks. And right now, if you use the link below, thevideospot.net/video marketing world, you can get a 2-for-1 ticket. Just buy your ticket using that link and reply to your email with 2-for-1, and you'll get another second ticket for free. So we hope to see you there. It's going to be a great conference.
It is. I'm really excited. I'm really excited for it. I actually just booked, because I'm staying a couple extra days just for the sake of recouping before I fly all the way back over here.
Sure.
And I literally just booked those extra tickets, like probably 5 minutes before we hopped on the show today.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. I can't wait to see it. Always a pleasure to hang out with you and the whole team there. Lots of videos will be made, and that's really where I think businesses scale, right, is at these conferences, because you meet people, you get new ideas, you're excited, and things jump up for you. In fact, it was at a video marketing conference that I met today's guest, Bryant Garvin, who's coming on the show. Bryant has over 10 years of search engine marketing experience and has worked in-house for Fortune 500 companies like Choice Hotels. Bryant is a fanatic in paid search and conversion rate optimization. Without the right messaging, he says, and design, when a user gets to a landing page, you are essentially throwing money down the drain. Bryant is the chief consultant at Bryant Garvin Consulting, where he works with companies to improve their ROI for their marketing activities. Bryant joins us today. Great to have you on the show, sir.
Hey, it's great to be here. Excited to finally make this happen. It's been almost a year in the making.
Yeah, no, it is. We've known each other for a while, and I've been trying to get you on the show. But constantly you're just like, dude, I'm making too much money, bro. I'm just making so much dough right now. I gotta cash these checks at the bank. But I'm glad you had time to stop by.
Write a big truckload of checks. I gotta drive these to the bank every day.
Yeah.
Exactly. Totally that. Just busy, dude. There's an acronym that we actually invented at Purple just because the growth was so crazy. It's BSC. It stands for batshit crazy. So like when things are just going crazy, BSC all day. So life's just been a little BSC. It's actually slowed down a little bit for me. I actually just recently changed jobs, and I'm working at a company now that works with companies like Skull Candy, Kong Dog Toys, big brands actually managing their Amazon businesses. So
that's
it's a fun
fantastic
shift for me.
That's fantastic. Now, your bio has a lot of big words, SEM consultant, conversion rate optimization. Give us the snapshot of what it is that you do in real terms.
So in real terms, I am really good at driving revenue for companies, especially e-commerce businesses. That's really my wheelhouse. I can do B2B, but I really love e-commerce just because you can control so much more of the experience, from ad to landing page to checkout experience. And you need to be able to control all of those things to really be able to influence revenue the right way.
Right.
So that's really what I do.
Fantastic. And you come on from, you were with a company called Purple. Explain to us what Purple does and sort of the campaign that we're all talking about here.
Yeah, so Purple, one of the really cool things about Purple is it's really a 20-year plus overnight success story. The founders of Purple are inventors. They've invented a lot of products, developed a lot of things. They licensed stuff to like Nike and Dr. Scholl's and a bunch of things over the years. But they weren't marketers and they weren't really like brand builders. And so they brought the right people in. They invented a machine that could actually make this proprietary purple material on the top of the mattresses. At scale and large enough to actually make a king size or a cow king mattress. And so in doing that, they reached out to the right consultants, brought people in, and originally all they wanted to do was SEO. And that's all they knew about online marketing. And so they got the right people, partnered up with the Harmon Brothers originally for the first big video. The Goldilocks one, Smashing Eggs on the Mattress, which most everybody's seen because it's been viewed hundreds of millions of times. But really, that was kind of where they launched. And it's in a really hyper-competitive space. The direct consumer mattress space, there's like over 200 companies now, because you can literally go online to China, say, hey, I want 1,000 mattresses with these qualities, and you've now customized and engineered the mattress with a unique cover and then put it out there, right? Like really cheap.
It's yours, right? It's a brand new idea, right?
Exactly. The big player in the space obviously is Casper. They've raised like almost $250 million over the last couple of years.
Wow.
So that's one of the really unique parts about the Purple story as well, is we basically went from zero January 2016 to public in February of this year. And all of that was done without outside capital. The founders have put in money, but like that growth is just ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. In fact, the company grew 156% from $60,000 to $200 million, actually $196 million just from 2016 to 2017. And video was a primary tool in growing your arsenal, wasn't it?
Yeah, it absolutely was. I mean, that's one of the things that we did at Purple. So I'm an advertiser by, like, that's what I do, is I take great content, great products, and I amplify it so that we can drive that revenue. And one of the best ways to do that is to play where nobody else is playing. Everybody in an e-commerce space plays in search. They're all bidding on each other's keywords. They're all bidding on buy a mattress online, that type of stuff. And it's really expensive. You can pay $50, $80 a click for each one of those. And that's going to really decrease your profit margins there. So Purple made a really strategic decision to be a video first company.
That's awesome.
Essentially, to create video that was entertaining. We kind of call it infotainment.
Sure.
Just because really what it is kind of like an infomercial, but it's so entertaining that you actually watch all 4 minutes and you actually enjoy it. Like every single day we'd get tweets saying, oh my gosh, I just watched a 4-minute video on YouTube. It's the only ad I can ever remember watching. And then they took the time to actually tweet about it. Like, who does that? Right?
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I think that's the golden cap for so many of us in the video space. Let's show the video right now so our audience can understand the quality, the type of video that we're talking about here. Melissa, if you want to get that ready, that would be fantastic. And let's talk about this campaign and how you used it to grow the company.
Yeah.
I'm here to prove that Purple mattress blows memory foam out of the bedroom.
Only Purple passes the durability test, body heat test, and the all-new HED test, or human egg drop test for the layman. The best test to determine a mattress's comfort and support. Ready, Billy?
No, I just have to. Perfect.
Just look at how the Purple Smart Comfort Grid, made from a super comfy yet ultra supportive material called hyperelastic polymer, cradled those unfertilized chickies. And yeah, they're pretty real. Now how about that memory foam?
Pick her up.
Ready, Billy? Great. See, unlike memory foam, Purple's unique design cradles your pressure points and redistributes support to the rest of your body, leaving your spine properly aligned. So no more back pain, no matter your body type, sleeping position, or frequency of nightmare. Ouchie! Especially the ones starring your boss.
So what does this mean? That purple's comfortable?
Good boy, Billy.
Whoa, Jake, that was terrible form. More wrist.
Oh.
Billy, can you clean this up, please?
Yeah.
Did you know memory foam was developed in 1966? That's 10 years older than VHS. And what's crazier is the technology hasn't even changed. You're getting half-century-old technology with all of its problems. So many companies are desperate to call their mattresses high-tech, so they sandwich a little bit of tech into the memory foam. 98% memory foam is still 98% crap. That's a lot of crap you're sleeping on, brother. And sisters. You guys? Purple is the most durable comfort technology in scientific history. While the compact structure of memory foam breaks down and falls apart over time, Purple's proprietary material keeps shape and stays strong. No more lumpy mattresses and no more body impressions. Speaking of impressions, memory foam has a big problem. It sleeps hot, and when exposed to body heat, it softens and loses support, causing you to sink faster than my hopes and dreams at senior prom. Or Blockbuster Video, those guys, I feel bad, but they made some mistakes in their hierarchy, and they just... Deep sleep requires low stimuli. Purple is temperature neutral. Its grid design and aerated sidewalls create serious airflow so your body heat doesn't affect your sleep. Stop looking for sleep in all the wrong places. Forget memory foam. These tests are real. You really can sleep cooler and more comfortably, all on a mattress that will outlive the family dog. And you can personalize your Purple with our many different comfort levels. Purple perfected the science of sound sleep. All you need to do is experience it. And you can for 100 nights with Purple's no-pressure guarantee. So go ahead, try the world's best mattress.
Hey, Jake.
Purple.
Purple.
He's fine, he does this a lot. This is his thing. Oh, they just kind of don't talk and just don't touch either. We gave him the don't talk, don't touch rule. Purple.
Purple.
What a fun commercial. I literally LOL'd. I don't know if my mic was hot or not, but we LOL'd like 3-4 times.
So did I. I think one of my favorite parts.
I ROFL'd. I'm not sure if you saw it or not. I was down here like all over the place. It was great.
Gut grabbing and everything. Nick was fitting. He was, kicking and fitting on the ground. It was amazing. Yep. I wish you guys could have seen that. Bryant, really a lot of funny stuff here. Talk to us about the strategy behind this video, right? You make this great video, but how do you get it seen? How do you, how did you make sure people would take action and look and purchase a mattress based on this video?
So the first thing is honestly starting with the video. Right? Like we had an amazing creative team, spent a lot of time kind of developing the science around what makes a brand viral video, what will engage people and sell them at the same time. And so a lot of planning goes into creating these videos ahead of time, including the fact that that intro that you saw there was one of only several that we actually ran to test to see, because when you're creating a video that engages, and especially when you're putting money behind it, whether that be Facebook or YouTube, you've got to grab their attention in less than 2 seconds. In 2 seconds, they've already decided whether they're going to hit the skip button at 5 seconds or they're going to keep scrolling in their newsfeed, right?
Amazing.
So you've got to kind of make those thumb stoppers, make sure, grab their attention. And a lot of times the easiest way to do that is to simply ask a question, right? When you ask a question, the subconscious automatically tries to answer that question, whether you want to or not. If I asked you what color the sky was, all of you guys are going to think, what color is the sky outside right now? Are there clouds in the sky where you're at? Is it raining, right? Like you're automatically going to try and answer that question. And so when you start with a question in your video, you're grabbing their subconscious. And one of the things that a Harvard business professor actually wrote was a book, I think it came out about 10, 15 years ago. And it talked about that 95% of all of our decisions that we make are made unconsciously, including purchase decisions.
It's like Inception.
So yeah, exactly. We're making these decisions unconsciously, and then we justify them with conscious, like, oh yeah, they're the best at this. Yes, that's a great price point, whatever, right? But a lot of times we're making those unconscious decisions, and emotion fuels a lot of those unconscious decisions. So having emotion in your video, that's why Purple really focused on humor, right? But it doesn't have to be humor. It can be any type of emotion. If you can capture that emotion in the video, it's going to make a huge difference in getting people to engage with the video and stick around. And then you got to sell it.
Do you need to have the same emotion through the entire video, or is it a mistake to make them laugh, make them cry, make them afraid? Do you want to keep them in one strand?
I think that really honestly goes back to what kind of brand you want to be, because it really is a brand voice at that point in time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Purple is humorous, but it's not humorous in a way that like people are like, that wasn't that funny, right? Like that kind of rang a little too close to home, maybe.
Right. It's not campy.
And it's very approachable, friendly. Like you feel like you could be friends with Purple, right?
Yeah.
And so it depends on the brand voice, I think, as to what you're going to do there. There'll probably be some videos that come out from Purple that are a little bit more on the emotional side around, maybe for a Mother's Day or something like that. But humor is at the core of it because that's kind of what the brand has been built on. I think you can have multiple things. You just have to be really careful how you're doing it. Mm-hmm. Just because if it shifts too quickly to an extreme from where you were at originally, you can actually lose a lot of people. So one of the things that we tested, and so this is the video that's public right now. There's actually a bunch of other ones that we've ran on the back end as well.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we did is we worked with the YouTube team and saw where people were falling off second by second. And so in our latest video ad, if you guys some of you are probably getting that ad today. We actually cut out that boss joke.
Oh, really?
The one about the nightmares about the boss, because it actually hits too close to home because everybody's had a bad boss. Like it actually kind of elicits a negative emotion, not a positive joke emotion. And so they were just falling off like crazy. It was like the cliff in the whole video where people just dropped off.
I got to tell you, the first thing I thought of when I saw that, because it was a female boss, I go, ooh, you're going to get heat for that. That is the first thing I thought. And now if you had shown like a guy with suspenders and a coffee mug, I may have thought differently of the boss. But seeing it was a female, I was like, oh, you're going to get rocked on that. And it's interesting, whether it's true or not, it was like a negative response. It was like, oh, so interesting that your data would show that.
And there was a lot of like the video overall has tons of likes, comments, shares, things like that, right? But when they were watching it, that was the point everybody dropped off.
Yeah.
So it was really important to that's one of the biggest things I think advertisers and brands need to be willing to do is look at the data.
Yeah.
And run their videos like they do their search campaigns or their display advertising, where they see the data and then they're willing to go back and make changes.
Right.
And that is really a big part of Purple's success is we were very data driven. We had the right marketers on the front end, the right advertisers, and then a creative team that was willing to actually make those changes because they knew that in the end, their video was going to get watched millions of times more, right? Mm-hmm. Like Purple has over 1 billion freaking video views right now.
That's amazing.
On their videos. Nice. And those are ads. Those are ads. People have chosen to watch Purple's videos over 1 billion times.
Yeah, versus content. It's not a how-to video. It's not a tutorial. This is a straight up watch to be entertained.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the key pieces there that it's a dirty little secret. Nobody will talk about it. But the only way a brand video becomes viral is if you put money behind it.
Right.
Bottom line.
So talk about that.
Every single Harmon Brothers video, whether it's the Squatty Potty, Poopery, Purple, whatever, they're funny. They get a lot of shares and likes and comments. But that does not carry it to hundreds of millions of views. Because, again, at the end of the day, it's an ad, no matter how humorous it is. And so the only way that you can actually keep putting money behind a video is if that video is actually driving revenue, right? And so that's one of the key pieces why we're constantly looking at the data, testing it, changing it. Before we ever push a video live over at Purple, we would actually test all of these different variations, actually put money behind them and see, like, instead of doing a focus group or something like that, put money behind it, put it in the real world and see what consumers actually do, right? So when we would test, we would actually exclude everybody that had been to our website, that had purchased our product. We wanted to make it an unbiased test. We didn't want we tried to eliminate as much bias as possible because at the end of the day, we Exactly. We wanted to be able to get this video out as wide and as broad as possible.
Yeah.
And if we're hitting people that are already have an affinity for the brand, there's a really good chance that no matter what we put out, they may just like it and
They're
watch.
just gonna like it, right?
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, like my 5-year-old daughter, she never skips a purple ad. Really annoying, but you know what I mean? So like there are those people, and you've got to take out that bias, really look at the data and see what's working well. And what's interesting is sometimes the videos that we saw or that we ran, the most engaging one, like the one that they chose not to skip, the one that had the most watch time, didn't necessarily hit the revenue goals that we had. And so we had to go back and retweak things and try and mix things up to figure out why this one worked for engagement, this one worked for selling, and try and mix and match and do all of that.
So why do
I think that's
you
a
feel,
big piece of it.
Why do you feel, or what did you discover in noticing that one video didn't sell, but another did? What were some of the things that didn't sell? What were some of the things that did sell it?
So one of them was the question that was basically asked was like, out of all the mattresses out there, how can you tell which one is best or something like that? And so it engaged them, but it wasn't directly selling. Whereas the video we just watched was like, I'm here to prove that purple blows memory foam out of the water, right? So like, you know exactly walking in what we're comparing against, what we're selling against. And so those two differences make a big difference there. And then you've got to figure out, how do you do both, right? One of the big things that's there, if you remember in that video, is it was kind of a cinematic start, right? He wasn't facing the camera, he wasn't talking. And on YouTube, on Facebook, like that front and center person character actually drives a lot of that engagement. People are there to interact with human beings, right? And so like, even if it's video, so having that cinematic thing works for maybe a movie trailer, but not so well if you're trying to engage the audience and keep them there for longer.
And that's something that we see.
So have you, out of curiosity, have you experimented with running, like, I just want to hear like your results that you've gotten. Have you experimented on that note with having more focus on like just the product without much people in it, versus people being like a focus with the mattress is kind of like a secondary, so that you can build that connection? Have you experimented with that?
Great question.
So we've ran a lot of different creative tests, right? Like that is a huge piece of what we did. And so we found that in some instances, having the people there, especially for cold audiences, engaged a lot more, right? But then when they're down the funnel, maybe just really hitting on one or two pieces, having some short form video on Facebook as an example, or Instagram stories that hit one or 2 points, actually help sell better, right? So part of it is in getting someone to actually like your brand enough that they're willing to invest the time to decide if the product is right for them, right? People tend to buy mattresses. It used to be every 10 to 11 years. Now it's dropped down to like 7 to 8, but still they are not buying a mattress every month of the year or even once a year, right?
It's like a car.
Not everybody is in market today. And so you've got to be able to engage them in such a way that when it comes time for them to be in market, they're actually willing to look at you first, right? And if you're constantly running those ads, constantly getting in front of them, when they're in market, you're the first person that they're going to think of, the first brand, right? So I think
top
that's
of mindness.
Exactly. And that, that's really hard to track the return on ad spend on that. Right? Because
what would you say are the major milestones of this campaign? And I really want to talk about the sales aspect. I want to move like off the video onto the landing page. What does that landing page need to look like so that you're hitting sales goals?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the biggest things that we found with our landing pages is we would actually embed the videos in the page as well.
Okay.
What's really interesting is that a lot of people that came to the website, they were buying a mattress the first time they ever visited the website. That's weird, right? Like nobody goes to a website one time and then buys $1,000 mattress.
Yeah.
But what was happening is they were being educated and informed and sold before they ever came to the website. But what we found is most people visiting the website, if they actually watched one of the videos, it added a multiplier effect to their conversion rate. So instead of this likelihood of converting, it was maybe 2, 3, 4, 5x if they watched a video on the page. So, and a lot of those videos were reinforcing things. I don't know if you've got the page up, but if you go there, we actually added a bunch of animations there showing unique selling points.
Do you remember
of the new mattress?
What's the page? Maybe we can pull it up on the screen.
So it's purple.com/purple bed, maybe. No, just go to purple.com and we'll walk through it.
All right. Yeah, we'll take a look at that. Because it's the idea is somebody watched the video on YouTube or Facebook and then they go to the landing page, and you're saying they see the same video again. Melissa, you want to pull that up if you got it up? So we got it up on the screen now. It says, life's too short to be uncomfortable.
Yep. So, and again, this is the Goldilocks headline one. It's been there 2.5 years now, almost going on 3 in January. But if you go up to products, right, or click on the new purple mattress, that right there will take you to this page, and you notice there's some video running in the background.
Oh, I love that.
You can choose to play it, right? And part of the important thing there, and it's the same exact YouTube video we just watched. It's just being played on site. And if they choose to play it and interact with it, their multiple of conversion increases significantly.
Now, is that a YouTube embed, or is that like a Wistia player?
No, that's just a YouTube embed.
Okay, all right.
I know there's some benefits you can get out of doing like Wistia and other things like that. Honestly, we didn't necessarily need that, right? Like we liked having the video view tracking to our YouTube or our Facebook or other stuff like that, because it added to the social proof. The more video views you have on something, when it comes up in the news feed, the more likes, shares, comments, whatever, right? The more likely you are to be like, oh yeah, that's 40 million views, 100 million views.
Yeah,
man, there must be something really cool about this video, right? So we left it there, like no need to spend money on something that didn't necessarily make a difference.
Right.
But part of the landing page, right, is making sure that you have some of the selling message points above the fold. Right. So you've got the video, you've got, the only purple mattress, but then right below it talks about engineered for every body.
Oh, look at that.
Right.
Yeah.
The purple mattress intelligently adapts to the human body. And so that automatically leads you to want to potentially scroll. Right. And as you start scrolling, you can scroll up here. I'll show you guys some of the other stuff that's on the page that actually makes a big difference. And
I think
again,
too,
we had an amazing creative team.
As soon as you hit that mattress too, then it expands, kind of like the happiness part of your brain sort of goes up, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. What else do they have on the page?
Exactly. And then we went back to the egg test, right? And showed eggs on the mattress and how it impacted that. I don't know if it's scrolling for you guys.
Yeah, right there. We got the egg test in there.
So you can see that. And one of the interesting things is that egg test was actually something that was invented by our founders years and years and years ago. They actually used it for medical wheelchair cushioning or for truck driver seat cushions and stuff like that. They'd go to a trade show and have this big truck driver sit down on a raw egg on the seat cushion, which is a really terrifying experience, right? And they would sit down on it and it wouldn't break. And so what the Harmon brothers did was just amplified that, right? Like took it to the extreme by having 330 pounds of tempered glass, dropping it in slow motion with loud sound effects, right? So taking something that can be used every day and then applying that creative process to it to take it a little bit over the top, because everybody's like, what the hell? Right. And you need some of that what the hell factor to try and keep people's attention in today's age, because there is so much vying for our attention, and there's some pretty crazy crap that's on the internet these days. So you almost, as a brand, you've almost got to be a little over the top in some ways to make it happen. So that's a big part of it.
It's interesting you say that, because
it was in the video.
I was going to say, working with brands has been, it can be a challenge, because a lot of times the brands are so conservative, you can't do anything unique and exciting or over the top. There's this fear, and having that And that's going to be for more your more established brands. You know, Purple's more of a startup, so you're going to have that flexibility there. I also noticed that your website is really, really low on text, right? Like the text is only there to support the imagery of the video. You've got a lot like this purple feel and these green, right? Green is the opposite of purple on the color spectrum. Green buy now button. So the buy now button is like, it follows you around this page. So you can buy this whenever. See that buy now button at the top there? Like you can buy this kind of a mint green. You can buy this from any, I believe, any scroll on the homepage. And again, these are big mistakes that we make with our videos. We make these videos that go to landing pages, and then these landing pages don't at all reinforce the product. They may not like show you exactly where you need to take action. And that confuses the customer. When the customer is confused, they leave. Period. They go, "What am I doing here? I don't know what to do." So I'm just gonna leave the page, and you lose sales that way.
And that's even subconscious, right? If you have a video that kind of looks and feels one way, and then you go to a website that looks completely different,
right?
There's like this dissonance that's subconscious that you're like subconsciously thinking, is this the same company? Is this like a fake site? I mean, so like it's really important to make sure that you've got those things across. One of the things that I want to add to what you were saying about brands and their sensitivity to things is Purple, even though we were a startup, we still had brand guidelines, right? Like you will never see a video come out from Purple where they explicitly talk about one of the biggest reasons for a mattress, sex, right? They really tried to they really tried to stay family friendly, so to speak, in the humor that they used and how they, because they wanted to make sure everybody could relate to it, whether you're a really traditional Christian, you know, or whether you're on the other end of the spectrum, something that everybody can relate to because everybody sleeps. And so trying to walk that fine line there, it was always really interesting when we were creating the scripts, when we were doing the videos, doing those things, is to make sure that we hit all the points we needed to, but did it in a way that was still brand safe for Purple. And so I think you can have some things that are a little over the top and brand safe. And it's all going back to helping the brands understand human psychology and human behavior today. Consumer behavior today is much different than it even was 5 or 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? Like
predictability
YouTube's been around forever.
Right. And predictability is going to kill your ads. Predictability is death, right? When people know what the punchline is, then they tune out. They automatically tune out. They know that they know where you're going to go. And you know what Purple does so well in this ad is like he'll do things like you know, like Blockbuster, they made problems in their hierarchy, you know, and it's like, geez. You know, that part I was rolling because it's so unpredictable. Like I just didn't see that coming.
Yeah, and even the way he said it, it was like almost like an afterthought. Like he was trying to explain it, but he didn't really know exactly how to do it. Yeah. So some of the best things that have come out of our videos, and this is where I think brands should have a little bit more flexibility, is allowing people to riff a little bit and record a little bit. You don't have to use it in the end video, right? But if you riff, some of the best stuff that comes out that you can use, which adds to that unpredictability, it is what happens, right? Like some of the best pieces from the Goldilocks video weren't scripted. Some of the stuff that happened in this video wasn't scripted, right? Like at the end there, he's like, yeah, they have a no talk, no touch rule. Like, what the heck is that? That makes absolutely zero sense. So, I think there's a lot of that unpredictability that you can add to it if you bring in the right people that have that opportunity to do a lot of that comedic timing. Like a lot of the people that we've added, that we've done videos with, right? Like the latest one that we did was actually with Colin Mockery for our seat cushion. And if any of you guys know who Colin Mockery is, he was from Whose Line Is It Anyways?
Oh yeah.
So a lot of stand-up comedians, a lot of sketch artists, a lot of, you know, like just riffing type of stuff, because that adds, exactly. That adds to the spontaneity of what's going on, right? And so I think that that's really important if you're going that humor route. If you're going another route, like there's a lot of other ways you can do that, but you can add things that are a little uncomfortable, right? Like one of the things that I was going to do that we hadn't got to do yet was Purple had a bunch of production going on, right? You had guys in the back that were welding things together, right? How cool would it be for Mother's Day to see this guy dressed up, all tough looking, you know, you see pictures of him welding, and then he's crying about his mom, like, and everything that she's done for him, right? Like that juxtaposition there. Yeah. And sometimes that's all you need is that contrast, that juxtaposition, something that just, it's unexpected again, right? Like you don't expect that guy in the back that's welding for a living to start tearing up about his mom.
Right.
And so like, those are the things that, and again, it's an emotion that's not humor, but you can use that to tap into, because we are humans. I think so many people get focused on the data and the clicks and the cells, and they forget that there is a human on the other side of the screen, on the other side of the ad. And humans, if anything, we are unpredictable, but we're also emotional.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like emotion drives literally everything that we do. Even the most
literally
logical
everything,
person
even
makes really logical decisions.
Yeah, and I wish I didn't talk over you because you were nailing it. We make emotional decisions and then call upon our logic to justify the decision for us. And that's what we take out into the world. We go, no. It is less filling beer. The beer is less filling. You know, at the end of the day, you wanted to drink more beer. You know what I mean? And that's why you bought it. You know, so amazing points.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and again, like I said, I think the big thing is just be willing to test, go where other people aren't. We ran stuff on Facebook, we ran stuff on YouTube. We were always testing different platforms, right? For me, I love YouTube. I've probably ran more ads on YouTube than almost anybody that's alive today.
Cool.
And part of the reason why, first off, is the consumer choice, right? Like they have a choice to whether they keep watching or not, right? The second piece is YouTube has so much inventory available, so many amazing targeting options available to you, and nobody uses it. Like there's like 15% or something like that of US businesses that are running ads on YouTube. Yet 68% of people actually use YouTube for purchase decisions.
Interesting.
Seems like there's a little bit of a dissonance there, right?
Yeah.
But what that means is there's opportunity. When you have it's actually 9%. Sorry, I remember the stat now. It's 9% of US businesses, and these are numbers from YouTube, versus 68% that are purchase decisions. That gap there, that's opportunity.
Yes.
That means that you don't have the same competition. Not to mention, there's not 4 other ads on the page. There's not a bunch of different banners. There's not your friends post above you, your mom's post below you, right? It is literally you getting a one-on-one opportunity to engage that user. And now user behavior on YouTube, they are there for one thing, to watch a video.
Yes.
The video after your ad, right? So the likelihood that they're going to click through and purchase is pretty zero. Right? But what they will do is if you engage them, they'll watch your ad, then they'll watch their video, they'll watch the next video, the next video, the next video, right? They spend like 40 plus minutes or something like that on average on YouTube every day. And then later that evening when they're sitting in their uncomfortable bed, as an example, they'll do a Google search and they'll type in purple mattress. Then they'll come to your website and then they'll purchase.
Right.
And so you've got to think about that as well from the advertiser perspective, that you're not going to track all of this directly to a ROAS, right? You're going to have to use some of the old school marketing tactics of saying, hey, we put out this much money, this is how much money we brought in, this is how much we could track of that, where did the rest of it come from, right? And if you run these ads, one of the coolest things that I think YouTube offers, especially for big brand advertisers, it's called brand lift studies on the back end. So if you work with Google, you can actually set up a brand lift study so that the targeting, the people that are in your audience, they hold out part of them, okay? And then when they hold out that part of the audience, they serve the ad to the ones that weren't held out. And then they compare what the lift is between those two. And they do the surveys. You know, you've all been on a news site where it pops up and it's like, hey, to continue reading, complete this Google consumer survey. They do that stuff, but where the real value is, you can actually give them a list of keywords and you can see the lift in that search volume of those that saw the ad versus those that didn't. Incredible. One of my favorite things to show with Goldilocks. We're 18 months after we launched it. It had had a couple 100 million views at this point. And I was actually tired of people saying, where do you work? And I'm like, Purple. And they're like, where? The mattress company. And they're like, huh? And I was like, Goldilocks smashing eggs. Oh, okay.
All of a sudden, yeah.
They did not understand the brand. And so one of the coolest tests I think that we did at Purple was we simply added the Purple logo to the bottom right-hand corner as kind of like a watermark.
Cool.
The only change we made, okay, when we ran that brand lift study, and this was 18 months after the fact, people had already seen this video hundreds of millions of times, right?
Yeah.
The people that saw that video versus those that didn't, and there was a really good chance the ones that didn't had already been interacted with our brand, right? That Purple logo in the bottom right-hand corner drove up to a 2,600% lift in brand search.
Incredible.
If somebody skipped the ad, and what's awesome is when they skip the ad, you don't pay a dime for that. Was almost a 600% lift in brand search.
And you still get the top of mind.
Yeah, and you didn't pay anything. That's one of the reasons I love YouTube so much, is you can still get a brand impression for free if you do it right.
Incredible.
Right? Like if you can get something across in that first 5 seconds that engages them enough that it sticks, you can actually drive brand lift and you pay nothing for it. There is not another single platform in the world where you can drive consumer interest and not pay a dime for it.
Folks, I hope you guys are taking notes. You've got to elicit emotion. You can get brand mentions without paying a dime for it. Look, Nick's got his notes.
Awesome.
Incredible stuff, Bryant. Really fascinating stuff. I know that you got to go. It's been a pleasure to have you here today. How can we follow you and stay in touch with what you're doing? Because I know you've moved on to some new opportunities.
So personally, I'm on pretty much every platform under Bryant Garvin. I work for iServe. We're going to be iServe.com, iserve.com. And I do some consulting and stuff on the side as well. So
fantastic.
If you follow me on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever, we
fantastic.
can connect.
Fantastic. We will. And we got one question for you coming in from Think Media TV. Our good friend Sean Cannell is asking, how would you spend $1,000 on YouTube ads if you were selling e-learning products? Quick question for Bryant Garvin.
So e-learning products, I'm kind of in that market right now. I actually started to create a course around advertising and blowing up e-commerce companies. And so one of the first things that I would do is run an ad in front of the content that people are watching that's related to that, right? So like find all of the Shopify example, e-commerce videos, run an ad in front of those, right? Like that's a really easy thing because they're interested in the topic. If you can grab their attention, then you can run them there. You can also do the keyword stuff, right? On YouTube, that's one of the things that I think is awesome. But even better than that is you can run what's called custom affinity audiences, where if you have a bunch of competitors as an example. So if I was University of Phoenix, I could go in and put in all of my competitor URLs as an example. And Google says they go out and find people that are similar to people that visit those websites.
Fantastic.
Here's the thing though, it works so well that I find it really hard to believe that some of those people are not people that actually visit those websites, right? So you can run those ads. I mean, they're like them. Of course they're like them because they actually are them. But Google will never say that, right?
Right.
But you can run ads to those people on YouTube. So they are in market, essentially. They have an affinity for what you're doing. Who better to actually reach that? And coming down the road, it's in beta right now, but you can actually run custom intent audiences, which is literally if somebody typed in a search on Google, you can then serve them an ad on YouTube.
That's
so
brilliant.
What
that's
better
the stuff I love.
And you're not competing with 4 other people, right? There aren't a bunch of other ads plus a bunch of organic results plus maybe shopping at, it's you front and center to somebody that was looking just yesterday maybe at Google for exactly what you're offering.
Right. And I think you've got to couple that with the first 2 seconds plus a great message. That message has to
absolutely
be attention grabbing and it has to be on point. Great points covered today, Bryant Garvin. Thanks for being on the show with us. Pleasure to have you. Nick,
Absolutely.
Charmed as always. I love, by the way, Nick, that you changed shirts in between our tech break.
Yeah, man, it was the like we started it one way and then we had that discussion about the shirts and I was like, you know what? It's irresponsible of me to be sitting here in that dark shirt. So that's why I went and changed it.
We had 3 black shirts to start the show. Nick goes behind the scenes and cuts it out. Well, hey, that's all for today. If you're watching us on Facebook, be sure to type 5 into the comment section right now. You'll subscribe to the show. If you're watching us on YouTube or listening on iTunes, be sure to click that big old fat subscribe button. Stay in touch with the show. If you're listening, hey, why not check out the replays on YouTube and see the screenshots, see the videos that we played for you. We're so glad that you're here. And remember to keep marketing. It's your only hope. We'll see you next week on the Business of Video podcast.
Thank you for listening to the Business of Video podcast. If you like the show, give us a review on iTunes or share this episode on social media now. Join us next time on Facebook Live. Just visit businessofvideopodcast.com and subscribe to the newsletter updates. This podcast is brought to you by Tuber Tools and BizTubeAcademy.com.